Hey everyone, so picking back up from part one of my last video, in this video I want to talk about one of the occurrences of earthly on as found in James 3:15. Here we see the relationship of earthly on, which again is a superposition of the earthly, in relationship to demonic, where if you don't understand the origin or what demons are, the unclean spirits of demons, watch this video here first, 115. We're here in James 3:15. I have some notes that I copy and pasted from the book of Enoch in relationship to the earthly on context. So we'll just read this. And now these monsters who are formed from the spirit and the flesh will be called evil spirits on the earth, hence earthly on. And on the earth will their abode be. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies because they are born from human and from Yerim, who are the fallen watchers. The latter were to be separate, but now their beginnings and primal origins are mixed. So unclean spirits, before God disembodied them, were not angels nor human beings. They're mixed monsters. Therefore, they will be evil spirits on the earth, hence earthly on. And evil spirits will they be called. Now, here where it says, as for the spirits of the skies, these would be the heavenly on, which we'll consider in Ephesians 6:12 here in a minute. They will stay in the skies, but as for the land-bound spirits, earthly on, those born on the earth, on land will be their abode. Where then here in Enoch 16, we also read that, for since the days of the slaughter, destruction, and death of these monsters, their spirits have gone forth from their souls and bodies to destroy with impunity. So the point being is that demons as unclean spirits with their abilities is an earthly on status. It's not heavenly on, it's earthly on. Which brings us now to Ephesians 6:12, where we find one of the occurrences of heavenlies on, which we read in Enoch were the spirits of the skies. So what we have to understand now is that when Paul speaks of cosmocrats, of this very darkness, this is the earthly on, which Paul is contrasting with heavenlies on. And the way we understand this is because the word cosmos, as seen in the concepts explanations here, is not to be understood in the sense of space, universe, or a kind of world order, but only as a designation for the earthland and the adornment of the earthland, because this word is in the same word family as adornment. In fact, here where Jesus speaks of the unclean spirit coming out from the human, but returning when the human is having been swept and having been adorned, is in the resurrection, when he returns in his earthly on status previously talked about in part one, which the word translated adorn is kosmeo. It's the verb. The same verb is seen here in the parable of the 10 virgins, where thereupon all of those virgins were awakened. This is the resurrection, when they wake up into earthly on bodies, and they adorned their brightening lamps. Kosmeo. So they have not yet entered the wedding. So prior to entering the wedding, they will have a earthly on body. Here's where they enter the wedding as prepared, but prior to that, they're adorning their lamps in relationship to cosmos, earthly on. The point being is that anything related to the cosmos, or that which is cosmic desires, has a relationship to earthly on superposition. in relationship to unclean spirits here, where Paul also refers to the heavenly on evilness, which is higher authority. In one of the other occurrences of earthly on things, Philippians 3:19, when Paul said, whose finishing is the whole away loosening, for whom the God of their body cavity and whose glory is in their shame, he's talking about those who will be locked out of the wedding feasts at midnight, who are minding on earthly on things, which has a spiritual connection to unclean spirits and demons here. So heavenly on and earthly on has its context in the resurrection that's impending.